Hi, I'm Terry Lugg, Director of Communications here at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church in Glenview. It's Christmas. It's a special Christmas Fireside Chat. And usually I'm a lot more casual, but this gave me a chance to wear a Christmas tie, and I couldn't pass that up, right? And we're in the rectory. The rectory is decorated just so beautifully. And we're visiting with, of course, our pastor, Father Jeremiah Boland. And Father Jerry, we're actually sitting by the fire. This is the first time I think we've ever had a fireside chat next to the fireplace.
It's the first time, yeah.
And what a year it's been. From 2020 to Christmas 2021, what a change.
You're right, Terry. It's a tremendous change. I know we're still struggling with the pandemic and COVID, but we're in a much better place a year later. If you remember last year, we were in the midst of planning 18 masses because of the occupancy limits, and it ended up being a great experience, but it was a very different time. Now we don't have occupancy limits, so we're back to the normal Christmas schedule. But it's not just the Christmas schedule, it's the fact that more and more activities are returning from our pre-COVID days, and a major focus, of course, is the life of our parish, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, which is a lot busier this Christmas than it was last Christmas.
It's amazing how many activities there are going on right now. And one of my favorite traditions that Father Jerry, you brought back is the singing of Silent Night in German. And you brought that back in the centennial year, and I'm so glad we're doing it this year.
Yes, that was one of the great discoveries of the preparation for the centennial year, was when we came across some of Father Martin Schmidt's initial writings, the first Christmas here at Our Lady of Perpetual Help. The parishioners traced their roots to Trier in Germany, and the custom there was to sing Silent Night after communion. And it was very moving in that centennial Christmas when we restored that custom of our earliest parishioners. And we'll be singing in German at all of our liturgies this coming Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
And as far as the schedule goes, we'll start with the drive-in mass at 1:30, and then we'll have our normal schedule of masses. And those masses can be found on our website at olphglenview.org. And our hope this year, there's no registration required. Everybody can come to mass. So we're hoping the church is filled.
Yes, I'd like to make a special appeal. Since the COVID pandemic has unleashed itself, it really has disrupted parish life. And, for many, many, many months, the doors were locked. And then we had very strict processes of signing up, and only so many in the church. And, people are still getting back into some of the routines that marked life before COVID. One of those being participating in the liturgy of the church. And I just want to make a special invitation. If you still haven't quite got back into the groove, maybe this Christmas could be a time of, getting back into regular worship of the Lord in our beautiful church. I know the COVID has taken a great toll, and there are still some who are anxious about being inside buildings. But we're really hoping to make everyone feel welcome. One of the sentiments of Christmas is always, come home for Christmas. And if you could come home to OLPH, we would be thrilled. And we have a lot of options on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and throughout the Christmas season. I don't know if there's a more beautiful church at Christmas time than Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And so if you haven't quite got back yet, we'd love to see you. Your presence will make all the difference in the spirit of this Christmas 2021.
And Father Jerry, you mentioned the traditions and the beauty of our church. And, this rectory is so beautifully decorated right now. And one of my favorite decorations is the Nativity scene that you have set up. You also have a collection that you set up with the other priests in the church that I really want all parishioners to go see. We actually taped a segment with Father Jerry earlier. Let's go to that right now. All right, so here we are in the South Vestibule, and this is just an amazing collection of nativity scenes. Father Jerry, why don't you tell us about some of your favorites?
Sure. Well, I have always had a great interest in nativity scenes. When I was a little boy, my big job as the oldest was to set up the family nativity scene, which had been a gift my parents received from my grandparents. So it had a lot of sentimental value to us. And, in the early church, they were so focused on the resurrection of the Lord that there was not a whole lot of artistic or even theological reflections on the birth of Christ. It all had to do with our Lord's death, resurrection. And St. Francis comes along in the 11th century, and he starts this whole veneration of the moment of Christ's birth, encouraging people to have their own nativity scene in their homes so that they could better appreciate the fact that Jesus was born into history. And so these were remembrances of his earthly birth. So over the years, I, along with the other priests in the rectory, have collected nativity scenes. They all have stories connected to them, like this one down here is probably my most precious one. That's from Ireland, from a little shop in Dingle, which is just across the street from the church that my grandfather was baptized in the west of Ireland. This is a bronze relief that comes from Rome. That was done in 1981, the year that I was ordained a priest. I love this crutch from Father Flavin. Shortly before he died, he gave me that crutch. He knew I really liked it. Whenever I visited him, I would mention it to him. He received this from a family that he was very close to. This one comes from El Salvador when we had our parish mission trip to the NPH home. This is an ancient symbol, the crutch itself, but this is a very popular image in Egypt, the Coptic church of the birth of Christ. Some of these are very intricate in how they're carved. Many people in the scene, others are just Mary, Joseph, and the baby. So it's just a little way of bringing part of our home into the home of the parish. This beautiful display will be available for viewing till the end of the Christmas season. So please stop by and take a look if you have a chance.
Father Jerry, I just love that collection. And one of the things I love about it is the handmade quality, a lot of the pieces. You can tell they're made with love. And I also liked how you mentioned when you were a child, that was one of your jobs to set out the nativity set. I think it's just a great thing for children, the nativity scene. I know when I was a kid, I used to love to look at all the different figures that were included. Sometimes you get a camel. Sometimes you even get an elephant. You got the entire package if you have the elephant in there. And again, the nativity here in the rectory is beautiful. And I just have to comment again about the decorations. It's just an amazing space here, and it's just so full of Christmas here in the rectory.
Yeah, first I want to thank Guild 3. They're the ones that decorated the rectory. If it was up to the priest, there'd still be a pumpkin on this table, so we're very grateful to Guild 3 for the beautiful job. We have a number of holiday gatherings here in the rectory, and it really makes it wonderful to have this beautiful Christmas scene here at the rectory. And it's our home, and we love to have people to share it with.
Well, the Guild truly did an amazing job. And let's talk about Christmas greetings now. We actually did a segment earlier with all our priests to give you a Christmas greeting from around the world, greetings from around the world, and there may even be a special guest, so check this out.
Hi, everyone. How have you been? Guess what? Christmas is near. But how have we prepared ourselves to welcome Jesus into our hearts? I'm here to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And in my language, because I come from Uganda, right? We say, Mbagaliza sekukulu ennungi n'omwaka omujja gubabeerere gwa mirembe, which means I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hello everyone, Father Larry here. As we are in the season of peace, hope, and joy, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as we say in my languages, Maligayang Pasko at manigong bagong taon sa inyong lahat. Feliz Navidad y Feliz Año Nuevo a todos. And by the way, as they say in the North Pole, Ho, ho, ho. Peace.
In the Irish tradition, I'd like to wish you a happy Christmas and a joyous New Year. I don't know Spanish and I don't know the language of Uganda, so I'm going to use my language. Happy Christmas. And may your Christmas be joyful. May your New Year be filled with hope and joy. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for all you've given me these last few years and what a present you have been to me. Thank you very much. Enjoy the season. Enjoy the day.
My dear friends in OLPH, I've been asked to say a few words to you to wish you God's blessings at Christmas. I do this with great joy. With all my heart, I pray to God for each one of you, your families, that God will bless you this Christmas. Above all, I pray that the message of the Annunciation of God inviting us to be the carriers of His loving message, that we will all hear that and do it with all our hearts. God bless you, and my love to all. Thank you.
Well, I love those Christmas greetings from all our priests and greetings from all over the world. How about that? And Father Jerry, why don't you give us the final Christmas greeting, the Christmas message to all our parishioners?
We've been on quite a journey, haven't we, these last couple years? COVID has affected every aspect of our lives, and we've all struggled together. We've supported one another. We've been able to continue the mission of our parish, even with the challenging circumstances of not being able to come together physically. And I'm so grateful for the ways over these several months we've been able to stay connected. Gradually, we're moving to healing and to a new moment of hopefully a post-COVID world. You know, Jesus Christ was born in the darkness of night in the little city of Bethlehem. In the midst of all that darkness, Jesus, the light of the world, was born. And though we continue to face many challenges, the Christmas story reminds us so much about hope, the possibilities of new life, the grace and mercy of God that is beyond our wildest expectations, the memories, and the spirit of this season is absolutely wonderful. And I don't know, we always want Christmas. This year we really need Christmas to celebrate that light and that promise of hope. Pray that this Christmas for you and your family will be a time of many graces and blessings. Please take the time during these Christmas days to thank the Lord for the blessings He's bestowed upon you and your family. And as we remember and recall again the events that led to the birth of Christ into history, we praise God for the many ways that Christ continues to be born into our hearts and into our midst. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.